Welcome to Asia Gaming Brief's face-to-face series. Today I'm talking with Joe Pisano. He's the CEO of Jade Entertainment and based in the Philippines. And first of all, we're going to start with the news, as Joe has just gone live with an India-facing site. Joe, tell us.
Good morning. We've launched our new site in India. The site's luckyyeti.com. It's been specifically designed for that market. We have Hindi language. We have some special, on the sports site, some special features in the cricket offering. And I believe it's probably one of the best cricket offerings in India. We also have Kabaddi, which is a very popular sport, live dealer, virtual TV games. So we cover, the platform covers casino sports. And soon we'll also introduce Helio Games, which is betting on lotteries like Euro Millions or Powerball. So it's quite an extensive site, and we're quite excited about it. And we started with India, and then we'll be looking at other jurisdictions down the road.
Why did you start with India?
We believe that to be the biggest growth market in the world. We decided not to go after the Chinese market. We believe the Chinese market will die off within the next year. The government there is putting measures in place to stop online within that area. So we decided India, with 1.3 billion people, they love their sport.
But that's quite a bold prediction. The Chinese market is going to fall off in the next year. That leaves a big gap for a lot of the operators, doesn't it? Who all came out to target that market?
Yes. I think it was only this morning the government came out and warned Cambodia about taking bets from China. We know several have moved to Myanmar to address the Chinese market. I think now China can influence quite a lot of the smaller jurisdictions into stop taking bets from the Chinese. So we did not want to be part of that.
Well, let's come back east and come back to the Philippines, because obviously the sort of big news there, the Philippines are going to open up their domestic market. What are you doing to take advantage of that? How big an opportunity is that?
It's a huge opportunity. They call it PIGO. We currently have our sportsbook license. We are currently live in Okada. We will be rolling out a number of sites, retail sites, on the sports betting side over the next few months. As part of the retail offering, we also have what they call privilege betting, which allows us, if a player maintains an account of 10,000 pesos, they can become a privileged customer. And once we register, identify the player, set up an account for him, he can then place his bets online. There is an identification process, and it can be via video or other biometrics. We're actually looking at iris technology, and we've signed a deal with a company called Iritech in order to identify players. Iritex, the same company that's rolling out the national ID system in Philippines, India, and Malaysia, and also involved in border security in the US. Now, casinos and properties licensed by PAGCOR will be able to apply for an online license. Our platform is ready for these properties. So as they apply, we would like to become a service provider to those properties as well, to use our platform. Our casino is ready, our live dealer is ready, our virtuals are ready. So as they prepare themselves, we'll be ready to go live. We can take a casino live online within a 2-week period. We're just waiting for PAGCOR to finalise some of the regulations around it. We will then submit our platform together with the operator. We submit the platform to PAGCOR for approval. Our platform is GLI compliant, and the sportsbook's also GLI compliant. So it's just a matter of finalising regulations.
Right, yeah, slow process.
Yes.
And in terms of your sports book, I know that one of the big things in the Philippines is Sabong. How is that an opportunity for you?
Yes, we've already developed our Sabong site. We view it as another sport, so it fits in well with our sports book. Our sports book, where we have all the patron management, all our KYC that is there, all our AMLA control is there. So it fits in well into what we already have. But we have also developed our player-facing site and app. We have also signed the exclusive rights to some of the largest event organizers in the Philippines. So Sabong organizers, we will provide the stream. We will also provide the calling of the fights, and we will republish that on our portal.
In terms of the Pogo sector, they just announced that obviously they did quite well on the taxation front in 2020, despite the fact there's been significant shrinkage in the market.
Yes.
How is that, and how do you see the Pogo sector going forward?
At the moment, the numbers of operators have reduced. There has been a temporary restraining order on the 5% tax that PAGCOR wanted to impose. Now we may see that come back. The ruling was based on measures that were taken during the quarantine period, which ended 23rd of September. So there is a possibility that 5% could come back. It's we know those that have left. Some have gone to Isle of Man, some have gone to Myanmar. The ones that have left will probably stay away from now. The ones that have stayed, while there's a restraining order on the 5%, I think they will remain.
But if that comes back?
Then there'll be questions if that does come back. The taxes were increased because during the COVID period, people could not get it. They couldn't leave their homes to go to bricks and mortar type properties. So revenue has increased. And, you know, it's not just the Pogos where we saw that. We can see that from nearly all international operators, including things like the US sportsbook. I mean, US sportsbook has gone crazy as well. And with that, we've seen a huge increase in the share value of a lot of the publicly listed companies. I think if we look at the online companies, their share values over the past 12 months have gone up around 150%, where bricks and mortar properties, I think they're around minus 10% for the year.
Yeah, not too surprising that. So one last question then. This is in terms of Jade again. Obviously, over the year, you started out primarily as a land-based supplier, and now you're very much into the technological space. How has that transition been?
Well, basically in March, once the pandemic hit and properties started to close, I had to decide whether we change the way we work. Otherwise, we basically, today we'd be talking about how we close the company. So I decided that we had to change. Technology was the way to do it. And we had to look at both land-based and online. And I strongly believe that it's still one industry. We're one gaming industry. So looked at how we can have a convergence of land and internet. And over the past 8 months, rather than closing the doors, we've been expanding, geographically expanding, and also expanding our products. We've become a lot more creative now. We've signed deals with AI companies, where we're looking at bringing different forms of AI into the online space, into the land-based space, which will help us understand the games and what players want in the future.